Hello students! In our previous video, I have discussed the lesson 1 of the module 1 for the quarter 2. So today we are going to continue with the lesson 2 from the module 1 of the quarter 2. So for this lesson, we are still going to use the same learning competency, which is to make connections between text to particular social issues, concerns, or dispositions in real life. So we have 3 learning objectives for this lesson. So at the end of this lesson, you are expected to, the first one is to identify the underlying message of the text. Number 2, to demonstrate understanding of the text by answering different activities. And for the number 3 is to relate the message of the text to real life situations. So now please open your module 1 and go to page 13. On the let us try part, you can see this activity. So here, what if the Philippines is about to sink? A boat has been built to carry only 6 people to another country and start a new life. A raffle was done to select the final 10 people whom you can choose the final 6 from. So which 6 would you take and which 4 would you leave behind and why? So later, you are going to accomplish a table on a separate sheet of paper. So here, you are given 10 choices. So for this activity, you are only going to choose 6 people who do you want to be saved from the sinking boat. And you are going to choose the 4 who will you leave behind if ever. So the choices are, the first one is a neighbor who bullies you since grade school. So would you like to save that person or not? Then number 2, your teacher whom you find terrible. Yes, for number 3, your snobbish crush. So when you say snobbish, this person doesn't want to talk to you. Yes. And then number 4, a corrupt politician. And number 5, your family doctor with a fake professional license. Number 6, your irritating classmate. Number 7, your lazy best friend. Number 8, a former convict. So when I say convict, this is a person who were guilty of doing crime. Yes, for the number 9, your stubborn sister or brother. And for the number 10, a famous terrorist. So again, choose 6 people that you want to be saved, and the other 4 will be left behind. So this is the table that you have to accomplish. So again, 6 people who would I take to another country and be saved. And for the second one, who I would leave behind. And for the boxes below, you are going to give the reason why. Yes, for the first one, why would you like to save this person? Or the second one, why you don't want this person to be saved. So just draw this table on your answer sheet. Now go to page 14 of your module. So let us study week 2, day 4, task 2 part. So it's vocabulary enhancement. So you are going to pick out the word which does not belong to the group. Okay, example for number 1. The newspaper was printing blasphemous ideas in the article. So in the choices, you are going to find the antonym of the word blasphemous. So when we say antonym, this means you have to find the opposite meaning of the word blasphemous. So in your answer sheet, you are just going to write the letter of your chosen answer. On page 15, you can see a text entitled By the Railway Side by Alice Meynell. So now I am going to discuss about the author as well as the text so that you will have better understanding and comprehension about this activity. Let us have a brief discussion about the author's background. So Alice Christiana Gertrude Meynell, or also known as Alice Meynell, was an English writer, editor, critic, and suffragist. So when we say suffragist, this is a person advocating that the right to vote be extended to more people, particularly to women. So she is now remembered mainly as a poet. So aside from writing essays, she also writes poems. So though born in London, she spent most of her childhood in Italy. So this is the setting for the short travel essay By the Railway Side. So when we say setting, this is the place where the story happened. So in 1876, she began some journalistic work, which was to absorb almost all of her adult life. So she spent most of her time writing different forms of literature, such as essay and poems. So the text that we are going to discuss by the railway side is a short travel essay by Alice Meynell. It speaks of her experience in a train station after alighting from a train from Tuscany. So when we say alighting, it means stop. So this is her own personal experience when she was on a travel. Before we go on to the text, so let's have a review first of the vocabularies, particularly the difficult vocabularies that are used in the essay. So the first one is blasphemous, which means profane or irreverent. So when I say blasphemous, in simple words, this is insulting way, an insulting way about religion. Clamor, a loud continuous noise. So elocution, study of how to speak clearly. Counterfeit, imitate, fake, not original. Bourgeoisie, belong to the middle class society. Entreaties, petition, ask someone in serious and emotional way. Seriate, crowded or pressed together. So means many people gathering together. Canorous, pleasant sounding, melodious. Feigned, not genuine or real. Intolerable, too bad, harsh or severe to be accepted or tolerated. Profound, showing great knowledge or understanding. And the last one is humpbacked, characteristic of or suffering from kyphosis, an abnormality of the vertebral column. Crookback, crookbacked, gibbous, humped, hunchbacked, kyphotic, or in Filipino we call it as kubak. By the railway side. So this essay is basically about the story of a middle-aged man who was shouting his blasphemies in the station. So this man was shouting bad words against the religion. So and then there is a woman with black lace veil over her hair, cried in despair and scared that the man would throw himself under the train and that he would be damned for his blasphemies. So this woman saw the man shouting and she felt scared because what if the man would jump or throw himself under the train and might die? So she was hanging on the man's arms, trying to stop him. So she couldn't just sit there and watch the man. So he tried the man to stop by holding his arm. And then no one tried to silence the man or to soothe the woman's horror. So there's no other people who interfere in the situation. So only the man and the woman, while the other people around don't care at all. From the essay, we can conclude that because of indifference, lack of concern about something or someone, many relationships are broken. Yes, so one of the reasons why we broke our relationships with other people is because of misunderstanding. These misunderstandings are caused by the indifferences because sometimes we have different ideas or different opinions about something from other people, which may lead to arguments and cutting off relationship. And then for the number two, showing care for someone can be means to achieve peace. Yes, for example, when you saw your friend suffering about something, if you will be able to help your friend, you will feel joy, you will feel peace because you know that you did your part to help him or her in solving his or her problem. So as you read the text in the modules, you are going to go over the questions to ponder. So for the question stop number one, if you were on the train, what would you do? Yes, if ever you're in the situation and you saw this man shouting blasphemous words and wanted to jump on the railway, what are you going to do? Are you going to stop him or are you just going to act like nothing happened? And for the number two, what would you feel if you were in that women's shoes? Yes, are, if ever you are this woman and if ever you are trying to stop this man from jumping, what would you feel? What are you going to do? And for the question stop number three, how can your character affect others? Yes, personally, in real life situation, how are you going to show people your character? What are you going to do? Are you willing to help them or what is the best thing to do? On page 18 of your module, you can see this activity. So let's retrace our steps. Answer the following questions in not less than 20 words on a separate sheet of paper. So you are going to draw these two boxes in your answer sheet. So for the first box, you are going to describe the setting of the essay. So again, as I've mentioned earlier, so when we say setting, this is the place and the time where the story happened. So you are going to describe it. For the number two box, based on the dialogue, actions, and attitude of the man, what can you say about his character? So judging from the man's behavior in the essay, what can you say about it? Describe his character. Now let's proceed to let us practice this activity. So now we are going to integrate arts. So let's showcase your art skill. So you are going to make a comic strip, but don't worry, this is just a very short comic strip. So as you can see, there are two images and there are two girls in the picture and they're having a conversation. So you're going to draw this in a one whole sheet bond paper. So for the direction, so read the situations presented below. Create bubble strips or comic strips to explain what would you say if given the chance to confront the person who committed the wrong deed. Okay, for the situation number one, a classmate who was reprimanded for creating hearsays about the teacher. So for this part, the situation one, what are you going to do? Or what are you going to say to your classmate whom talking bad words or bad things behind the back of your teacher? Yes, for situation number two, a friend who was sent to the guidance office for punching someone in school. So you are going to give advice or give a comment, or what do you want to say to this friend who punched someone? How would you tell him or her that what he did was wrong? So you're going to write it in the comic bubble strips. On page 19, go to let us practice more. Get your no on. So for this activity, examine the keys below. Explain why you should not get involved in the situation and how would you react if you were in the situation. So discuss comprehensively in not less than 30 words. So this is the situation. You saw your classmates passing around a paper containing the answer key during your examination day. The folded sheet of paper is approaching your desk. What would you do? Yes. So for example, you are in the classroom and you are having an exam. Then suddenly your classmate give this small sheet of paper which contains the answer key for the exam. How would you react? What are you going to do? So you are going to explain your answer in not less than 30 words. So will you accept the answer key or not? And give the reason why. On page 20, you can see a news article entitled, His Name is Reynaldo Carcelar. So this is a news about a pedicab driver whose death has sparked debate and introspection. So for this part, I am not going to explain this article anymore since most of the words are written in Filipino language. So I'm sure you can easily understand it. After reading the article, you are going to fill in the chart or the table that you can see in your module. So your answer, your take, must not less than 50 words. For the first box, the text passage, so you are going to relate yourself to the text. So how was indifference shown in the news article? So when you say indifference, this is lack of interest or lack of concern, lack of sympathy. If you have read the article, you know the reason what happened to the people around the victim. So what can you say about it? For the second box or the second table, your take, so that's when you are going to relate the text to yourself. So if ever you were in the situation, what would you have done if ever? Are you going to help the man or not? So you are going to explain your opinion about it. On page 23, you can see let us enhance. Thinking further. So after answering the tasks in this lesson, it's now time to answer this question. So this is kind of reflection about what you have learned in our lesson. So in what ways are you indifferent to others' circumstances? What steps can you take to overcome it? So in what situation, personally, in what circumstances you feel the lack of concern, the lack of sympathy to other people's situation. So you're going to write your answer in not less than 30 words on a one whole sheet of paper. Let us reflect. So for today's lesson, we can conclude or we can reflect that forming and valuing relationship does not only show our ability to care, but our growth as a person. It teaches us compassion, communication, compromise, and selfless giving, signs that we can truly move forward with genuine love for self and others. So if we care or if we value other people, we are willing to do much more for their benefit. We are always willing to show our concern in every situation. That's all for lesson 2 of module 1, quarter 2. So if ever you have some questions or confusions about this lesson, please feel free to message me so that I could address your queries. So that's all, and see you on the next video. Have a good day. Bye.